Hello there and welcome back to the Squirrelhead YouTube channel. The international break is finally over and there is light at the end of the tunnel, which is coming in the form of Liverpool versus Leicester, for us anyway. And I think I'm looking forward to this game. I was pensive about it originally when it was coming up so early after the start that we've had and such like that. And let's address that start as well. I'm okay with the start that we've had so far. I think at the start of the season, if we'd said, from the first 3 games, if we took 4 points, we'd have been pretty happy with that. But obviously the way that we performed in some games and stuff like that, the way we performed at Arsenal raised our expectations. And we just thought, or maybe assumed, that we would kick on and do very well. Missed Mane in the Burnley game, came away with a 2-0 loss, not good, and then getting a draw against Tottenham, which we should have smashed them. We should have absolutely smashed the absolute back doors off them and given it to them. We should have. But we didn't. We came up with 4 points. And we're not in a bad position. Yes, everyone's looking at the Manchester clubs. And whoever else, I think Chelsea are currently unbeaten. All on 9 points after 3 games. Doing very well. But we're not in a bad position for us. Now we're coming up against Leicester. And obviously, I'm looking at the Express. And it's trying to do some sort of analysis between us. And I'm just basically going to go through a couple of points that they've made and see what I think about it as well. Stuff when they're talking about how many passes that we've completed and how much Leicester have completed. I don't care. Because what did Leicester do last season? They passed probably less than everybody, won the league. Passing and possession and all that sort of stuff isn't necessarily key. It's good if you're going against a team that is gonna try and counter on you, or if you're against a dangerous team and you want to try and keep possession away from them. That's good. And these are a dangerous team as well. Like the strikers that they've got, the strike force they've brought through, it's unbelievable. They will have talent everywhere. Everyone's saying that Leicester aren't going to do well this season, but I think that they could. Tottenham slow burn into a season all the time. I think Leicester, while they won the league last season, this could still be a dangerous match for us as well. But it could be a good match for us as well. We had a good bit of good news as well. We had Sadio Mane, looked like he was injured on international duty. He's actually okay, he's fine, and he's fit and ready to play. Our August player, the Standard Chartered Player of the Month, whatever that means to anybody, but that's really, really good. The fans are obviously behind him, and he is looking very comfortable and happy. The other one is Karius is back in full training, and there's rumour that he could actually be considered to start. I don't know if it's too soon, but I want to see that man I want to see him in between the sticks. I just do. I want to see him in goal. I want to see him in goal. I just want him in goal. Come on. Because Mignolet, he's been okay. He's been a good, I don't want to say servant, he's been a good player. Most people would say servant. He's not, no. But I want to see this man in the sticks with Matip and Lovren in front of him. I want to see what that's like. The other good news for me as well, whatever anybody thinks, is that Sakho is staying after the transfer window and he is going to try and prove himself to Klopp and get in that team. And I think that he will. For me, there's no doubt that he can get in there. Most likely would displace Lovren, or they go to a 5 at the back with Moreno and Nathaniel Klein working as wing backs. Whether that would work, I'm not entirely sure, but that's the vision that I have. If you have them all firing, Lovren, Sakho and Matip, that could be pretty friggin' solid, with Karius in goal, doing very well. Hopefully he will kick on and do very well like he did in pre-season, and then have those two as wing backs. You put Moreno as a wing back, that's great because he's got defensive cover. Same with Nathaniel Klein, although he's good with defence anyway. Anyway, you can see where I'm building to with a little bit of a team prediction. Now, obviously, everybody will remember Jamie Vardy's absolute screamer he put past Mignolet last year. I'm not going to hide from it. I'm really not. It's one of those. He hit this long-range screamer in a season where he was basically scoring goals for fun. But we've got a fairly good. It's actually more even. It's a more even head-to-head record than I was expecting, to be honest with you. But the last time they won at Anfield was a long time ago, 16 years ago apparently. So that's quite good, I think. Now let's get on to the Liverpool team news. So the team news is that he suffered a little bit of a He suffered a little bit of a kick in the back of the knee, but he's otherwise in contention. Klavan, not entirely sure. He's just come off the back of a horrific performance where his international team got beat 5-0. Emre Can is probably not going to play by the sounds of it. So in that thinking, if we're going to go with the system that we've had so far, I'm thinking that we're going to go with either Mignolet or Karius. I'm more likely going to think he's going to go with Mignolet and give Karius, not rushing back, essentially. I'm imagining that it's going to go with Mignolet. If he comes out with carriers, I'm going to be very surprised in a positive way. Then I think it's going to be Matip and Lovren. I don't think there's anybody else that we could use there unless Sacco has been miraculously brought back into the fold. I think it's going to be Lovren and Matip. Nathaniel Klein, staple, always. I pretty much won't even have to talk about the right back position, I don't think. Left back, Milner or Moreno. Depends, because they're going to need someone that's going to maybe need to keep up with, I don't know, to keep up with the pace that they've got up front with Musa. They've got Islam Slimani that came through on the final deadline day from Sporting. He's going to be pretty dangerous if he ends up starting as well. Obviously, Jamie Vardy as well is their danger man that's very recognised for his pace. Still nearly 30 years old. But that's one thing that we need to look at as well. Like, who's going to be better at doing that? Milner, with his, like, obviously lack of pace, but reading of the game better than Moreno? Or do you gamble with Moreno and hope that you can... You're never going to catch Leicester on the counter because they're not that type of team that you can counter. They counter on you. So for me... For safety, I would put Milner on left back, and that's what I'm going to go with. I think that would be what it is. Now, there's a couple of options we've obviously got in midfield. Firmino hasn't been on international duty. Will he start in midfield? Probably not. I imagine that he'll be sitting up front. So let's look at the midfield. Coutinho, possibly a shoo-in. Depends on what they think of it. Like, I think him coming back off international duty after setting up Neymar can only put him in good stead to have a good day in the midfield for us, or on the right, on the left-hand side, which is most likely. So again, I'm going to come back to the midfield because I keep bypassing it a little bit. You're obviously going to be looking at the likes of Henderson is probably going to be in there. Grujic, you never know. Possibly, it's an option. It's an option. More likely though is that they'll go with Wijnaldum and Lallana in that midfield, and I don't see why not. Lallana, people slagged him off about having a bad game, but you know what? Have a bad game all you like. At the end of the day, if you score a goal, I'm happy. It's the same as Ibrahimovic has been doing at Man United. He hasn't necessarily been lighting the game up, but 75 minutes into a game and he pops up with a goal and it's a winning goal, that's all you want. It's the same that I want here as well. If Lallana can do pretty much something similar, and any of the players as well. Wijnaldum, I think, got on the score sheet for the Netherlands, even though they struggled this week. And obviously Henderson, if he can start chipping in with some good assists. He's got some good passing range as well. I'm quite happy with that moving forward. Obviously then, the decision for me is Coutinho on the left, yes, most likely. You've got Sadio Mane on the right, shoo-in, definitely. That's got to happen in my opinion, it really is. He is such a difference maker in our team. If we take him out, we don't have a replacement. Up front, do you start with Sturridge, Origi, or Firmino? I don't know. I think based on form, you'd go with Firmino and like how he's been with Liverpool. He's been scoring pretty regularly, especially coming from pre-season into the start of the season as well. He's been scoring pretty regularly, and he's a live wire in the box as well. He's everywhere, and he can also drop in a little bit deeper if we need him to. Sturridge, I still see as an impact striker coming in off the bench. Now, your other option, obviously, is if you want a physical presence in that box as well, Origi. You go with Origi. You start him up top and that, but where does that leave Firmino? You could then drop Firmino a little bit further back, play him in a number 10. We have a fair few options that we could go with. On match day, though, I do think that we are going to go with the front three: Coutinho, Firmino, Sadio Mane. That's how I think that we're going to line up. Now, what do I think going into this Leicester game? They've got a couple of new signings. They haven't clicked into full gear yet. Not sure how their players have done on international duty, but it doesn't necessarily matter when it comes back to the club game. Obviously, they're actually hoping that Mendy is now back after that's what it's saying on here, after he's had an ankle injury. Mendy being the replacement for N'Golo Kante. So they're going to hope that he's going to kick into that midfield. If he can do a similar sort of job, then they've glued that position up, and that could... I'm hoping he's not back, and we can hopefully have a bit of an open game. How do I see this game going down? We can win it. We can win it, and I am confident that we can win it. But I'm also, depending on how we start at the back, I'm not entirely confident that we'll keep a goal out, at least one goal. Right, if I'm going to go for it... Right, we're going to go for it. Liverpool 3, Leicester 2. It's a very bold prediction, but that's what I'm going with. If you agree with me, give us a thumbs up. If you don't agree with me, tell me why. yes, we got beat last year, but we are a different team now, and we have got obviously different style of playing. When we do have a good game and we click it together, you see what we do against Arsenal and stuff like that. You've seen some flickers of it last year, what we did in the Dortmund games, all that sort of stuff. We can do it. We need to do it on a consistent basis. I think that after the international break, we don't have the best record after international breaks. We need to start kicking this into gear big style. And I think this could be the game that starts us in good stead towards Christmas and that schedule that we've got. Because after, I think, a couple of weeks, I think we've got Chelsea out of the way and then we've got a couple of other games as well, we start to go into a bit of an easier, I don't want to say easier, but a bit of a lighter schedule in terms of the teams that we're playing. So hopefully we can pick up some good points here. I hope we can pick up the win. I'm predicting 3-2. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I being a prick about it? Let me know. Do let me know. Like the video if you've enjoyed what I've been doing today. Subscribe if you're new around here. There are going to be much more videos. There's going to be the full Premier League preview video as well. But if you've enjoyed it, like the video, subscribe. As I always say, if you can, please. It helps so much and makes me feel good. And I'll catch you later.